Welcome to the DATRE Transcripts. Transcript 016. Questions from Kim. John. Kim asks, I have recently come upon the Pleiadian channeled material, info on Zeta Reticulas and the Greys. Can you clarify some of that for me? DATRE. Well, first of all, you have a planet here that we have referred to as your reality. Your reality contains within it sub-realities. Now, in interaction with sub-realities of your total reality, things are perceived but not seen as a rule. What you do is you go into your sub-reality and you pick up different vibrations. The finer the vibration, that is not exactly the right word, but I have to use finer so that you can understand. The finer your vibration, the less you will be able to pick up and perceive it through a physical construct. You understand? John. In other words, the finer the vibration of the sub-reality, the less easy it is to pick up. DATRE. Yes, to see it, to perceive it, because only in perceiving can you create a picture in front of you so that you can see. All right? Now, all the planets, just about all of them in what you call the big universe, contain life form. But the minute you think of life form, you think of something you can see with your physical eyes, okay? All in the universe, the big universe, contains wave form. That is the way everything functions, is through waveform. You have no instruments to detect waveform. But that does not mean that the waveforms do not contain life. They do contain life. The planets have different evolutionary processes that they are working on, just like you are. The only thing at the present time, that which you call your Earth, is the only planet that is working with a tangible reality like you have. In other words, you can tap the back of your hand and you know you are solid. All right, that is your knowing, okay? Now, this is the only planet. There are a couple of other planets that are working in physicality, but not with the, shall we say, compactness that you're working with it. In other words, you have over what you call your periods of time layered and layered and layered and compacted and compacted and compacted so that you are more solid physicality, all right? Now, as I said, there is life in the wave form. That is what is preferred throughout the big universe, simply because when you are not pushing around a physical body, you don't have to bother with it. Your whole construct of physicality is putting food in the mouth to sustain the physical being. You have to clothe it. You have to put it in some kind of shelter. You have to build some kind of vehicle of some sort to get you from point to point, because you can't walk the distances that you want to go. Everything is based on trying to get your, what you call the very you that you are, to where you want to be. Now, in a waveform reality, if you want to be someplace, you just go, because you have nothing to tie you into a compact form that has to be moved. Now, that does not make anything greater or lesser in grandness, because it is all an experience, just different. The reason we are watching you is because we have not developed and seen developed any physicality to this extent. Now, as I have said before, the whole big universe is waveform. So you have constant waveforms around you all the time, but you keep adjusting, 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 and adjusting. Now the waveforms coming in that are going to be coming in, they have been coming in for the last 3-5 years, I don't know, something like that, and your bodies have been adjusting, adjusting. Now, there are those who, to use your terms, can't handle it. They have gone into what you call your death process. It's overwhelmed them, and they can no longer keep their physical body, shall we say, together, and they just can't handle it, so they leave. Now, you're going to have more of that coming in. You have had on your planet for a long period of time that who you call Jesus. Now, at the time that Jesus became the popular myth, shall we put it that way, is when there were civilizations that had almost two opposite polarities. In other words, there were those with great wealth and power in what you would call the working world, and those who had great wealth and power in what you would call your religious world. So you had that which was so much grander, so much greater. Those were the ones who had people working for them constantly, clean their houses, take care of the horses, take care of the children, do all of these menial tasks. So you did not have what you call today the middle class. Now, those people that were downtrodden, shall we say, because that is one of the words I have heard you use, they did not know how to get themselves out of the situation they were in. So they, through mass consciousness thought, created a savior, someone that could help them, someone that could, if they turned to God, they turned to Jesus, so I'm living on a planet where I may be beaten and I'm downtrodden and I can barely make it from one day to the next, but there is a God that will take care of me. You see, that was needed. The protection was needed. Now, over this period of time, you have noticed that the younger generation is again looking for something, and the Jesus figure is not filling their need. Because intellectually they have put things together, and that book that you call your Bible doesn't fit where their intellect is at the present time. So quite some time ago, a new myth was born, shall we say, out of need. This is where the aliens came in. The aliens were to come and help you and take care of you and save you. It is just another savior. Now, that is needed for your people because you have not reached the point where you are able to rely upon yourselves in each, every, and all ways. In other words, if you know who you are, you do not have any need for that because you know who you are. You know where you're at, and you have a pretty good idea where you're going, because you get a glimpse from time to time of the possibilities of where you can go, rather than just dying and coming back on the planet again. Okay? Now, how come we can see the aliens? They're from the Pleiades. Well, there's a space with planets that you call the Pleiades. You have named them that. And they have said, well, they are beyond the Pleiades. You can't see them, but they're beyond that. All right? You have new energies coming into this planet. You have those that are in wave form that can move throughout the universe. They don't have to sit on a planet like you do. Okay? A new wave form comes in, touches your planet, and what happens is it contains a new energy. Your body does not quite know how to handle it, doesn't know what to do with it. So it is something foreign, it is something alien, and it is out there because you haven't put it into your body, and you begin to feel this whatever. You can't put a name on it, you can't define it, you are confused by it, and you begin to make a picture. The brain makes a picture that you can see. That is based on the energy construct that, shall we say, you put in front of you. This energy construct that is put in front of you, well, it kind of looks like it's got arms and legs. I don't know if it's got fingers or toes. Well, that isn't important. I see a head, and this figure is kind of gray. They form a picture of what it looks like. John, the picture becomes easier when others have published in books these kinds of pictures. DATRE. Oh, of course, of course. Once they have seen the pictures in the books that people have drawn of what they think that vibration appears like, it's very easy. Now the brain has something to work with. Oh, I remember seeing a picture of an alien. This is an alien standing right here in front of me. All right, now, I mentioned one kind of vibration energy patterning. You also have energy patterning within your sub-realities that you cannot translate. So in translation of one of your sub-realities, there again you can form a picture. because it was a person. It was, I don't know, I was in this other reality and I really don't know, but it was a person. Okay, here comes the picture on the front of the book. Oh, that's exactly what I saw. Very easy. There's another way that you see the aliens. That is those in the dead zone. The dead zone is collapsing, and those in the dead zone are trying to get onto this planet because there's going to be no place for them if they can't get a body. So they come to you, and if they can touch you in your sensory perception, if they can get into your head and convince you to make them a body, what do? You make an alien body. That in the dead zone is very happy because it has a body, but it is a pseudo body because it is just a picture that you have put on that vibration. So you see, that which you see as aliens are alien vibrations that you put a picture on, and you have an alien in front of you. John, that must be the same thing for the so-called UFOs, the ships. We do the same thing? DATRE, yes, in a different construct, yes, because there's energy patterns that are all over. John, the people who build ships, so-called, only build ships because their brain patterning cannot accept aliens without a vehicle with which to get here, so they put the story together. DATRE, yes, that's right, but you see, the same vibration can exist, shall we say, on your planet, their feet on the planet. Those same vibrations can exist in the sky, but you can't have an alien hanging in the sky without a ship. So you make a different story. It's not an airplane because it doesn't do. Why do ships appear and vanish? Well, I saw them, and they were doing all of these things, and they just popped into the sky, and then they were gone. Next thing, they appeared over here, and then they were gone. That is you making pictures of something you've seen that you cannot describe. When you cannot describe it, it becomes an alien form. So what happens is you have another thing that has happened on your planet. UFOs. We explained the UFOs that you see, that you put pictures on in the sky. Vibrations that are unexplainable. Once you have seen a picture of something, that's what you begin to do, okay? Now you have others that have seen UFOs, and there are those that have been burned by UFOs. How do you explain that? Very simply, your government and the governments of other countries have been working with what you call UFOs that look very much like what you see in the sky. They have crashed. They have landed in fields and made great big burn marks in your fields because you know how to do nothing on this planet other than work with what you call gasoline to power anything that moves. You are hardware oriented. You have not reached the point that you can make something out of metal and have it stay up in the air for any length of time. So they do something else. They have some kind of something within them that will propel them. Many times when they started out with these round ships that they call them, you have had what you would call a couple of astronauts inside of them, but they have run on gasoline. Well, of course, when they land, they are going to burn something. If they crash, they are going to make a hole. Those have been very cleverly covered up by your governments. I do not know why, but that is your planet, and you have to figure that out for yourself. For those people that have come close to where those ships have landed and they have been burned, their faces have been burned by the heat and so forth, and they saw people, these gray people, coming at them. Guess what? Flight suits. They had to have flight suits on. They were silver in color, so your government knows this, but you don't know that. But that's all right. It has not affected that many people. However, now that there are big, numerous changes within your planet, not only of the planetary structure itself, but of the people, and the new wave energies coming in, people are becoming chaotic and they're looking for help because, as they have said, there is a great deal of depression. There is a great deal of scattered energies that they don't seem to be able to function like they used to in a very, say, placid type of environment. You have so many gazillions of individuals. Your mass consciousness gestalts are so huge, and the energy contained within them is so chaotic that people are looking for comfort. And when the aliens come and say, I will help you, we will take care of you, what more do you need? These are something that comes out of the sky. They've got to be grander than you are. They come up and they sit or stand in front of you. They have got to be grander than you are because they have come, they have appeared, and they have disappeared. Well, they have appeared and disappeared because you don't hold your picture. If you held your picture, they could stand there forever, and you can make them move because it is your picture. The one thing that has not been understood completely, and you have said it again and again, you create your own reality, and you do not understand what that means. If you do not have within your genealogy of that which contains the genealogical patterning through your timeline, you can't create a picture unless it has been seen by the physical eye. But most of what is created through your genealogy timeline that you have now is that which you can make pictures in front of you so that you can see them, so that you can work with them. That's where your experiences come from, and you work with that in the nighttime. But you take your daytime experiences and try to shove them into your dream time, and that's where the confusion exists. That's where you see a lot of things also is in your nighttime sleep. But because you have drawn your physical brain patterning into your nighttime sleep, which is geometric, and tried to force them into a physical patterning, you have become all confused. Now your psyche knows how to translate your dream time perfectly. If you don't get in its way, it will put you where you want it to be because you all came here saying, I want to do this. I want to learn this. This is what I want this lifetime to be. Yet you fight the psyche every inch of the way, and then you wonder, why is my life the way it is? Because you have not allowed it to be what you wanted it to be. You're fighting from the outside. You're fighting the inside, and the inside knows, and your body knows, and you don't give your body any intelligence. You came here to be in physicality, to take a body and learn from being in a body. That was one of your experiences, but how can you learn from a body that you desired if you fight and kick and scream and holler at the body all the time? It can't be done. That is why the chaos. That is why we have said again and again, and we will continue to say it. You came here for the experience. You came here to live within that which is a physical construct. Now, that physical construct contains more than your brain comprehends. Once you begin to allow the body, once you begin to allow the psyche, there will be continuity between the two, which your brain can translate and function with in your awake hours. You try to translate your dreams. You can translate your dreams if you do not push your physicality into your dreams. But you will find that the more you work directly with your psyche and allow your psyche to work with your body without resistance and allow and watch the experiences as they happen, you will find that your life will smooth out. The fighting is not there. Anticipation, yes, because that is a physical construct and you have other things you work with in the physical being. But the thing is to allow. That is what you came to learn, and until you learn what it's all about, you can't go anyplace else, because your psyche is the only thing that can take you into another reality. You can't go into another reality with your physical being. You can't go into another reality with your physical brain, which is your computer. The one thing that I have heard many say is, I am not coming back here again. Well, if you are so convinced that you are not coming back here again, then you better start doing something so that you won't come back here again. But if you don't work within the construct of yourself, you cannot go anyplace else until you've learned your lessons. You have all your sub-realities within your large containment reality, and we are here to teach you, as best we can, what this is all about. It is not out there, because the out there is the picture that you put in front of you and agree with another individual or individuals that this is what is out there. So you are the one painting the picture. When you begin to allow different pictures, you will find it is a greater journey than you had ever expected. Now remember, the aliens cannot help you. There is no one that can help you. They cannot build a hologram around your planet for safety because they don't know how. They do not know how to build a hologram around your planet to save you. That is a universal construct. It is not theirs. You talk about detecting EM waves. The only thing they are able to detect in an EM wave is the particle that is within the wave, and because of its different configurations, they think that they have figured out the wave. The only thing that is going to figure out the wave is you, that is in the physical construct and gets to the point of knowing what a wave is. We have enjoyed being with you. Yes? John, I wanted to get a point in that we seem to have gone by. The question was a two-part kind of question. It was, what are the aliens? That's one part which you explained. That's the picture part. What about the channel part? In other words, these beings are being channeled extensively. DATRE. Oh, that is very simply explained. Oh, I'm sorry I did not catch that. That is very easy to explain. Anything can be channeled through anybody at any time. All you have to do is connect up with their vibration. People channel the dead zone constantly, right? And ancestors? That's what they're doing. That is very simple. John. Okay, I understand that in short term. For example, in the so-called Pleiadian situation, this one person has been so-called channeling the Pleiadians for quite a number of years. DATRE. Why not? She's picking up a vibration. She's translating the vibration within her physical brain. This is what she's getting. John. In other words, she's basically, from a scientific point and terms, has created for herself a standing wave pattern and continues to maintain it as her frame of reference. DATRE. Yes, that is correct. You see, that is what happens in the dead zone. Although they make bodies for themselves in the dead zone because they are unfamiliar and they cannot exist, they think without a body construct. So they create a pseudo-body construct in which to operate in the dead zone. John. They are uncomfortable with the concept of no body. DATRE. No. People can't handle that concept. So the thing that happens is they form a physical construct so that they can, shall we say, live in the dead zone until such time as, well, we won't get into that. But anyway, that is what they do. What they do when the so-called dead appear in front of you that some people can see is that they recognize the vibration of that individual, and depending upon whether it was a relative, which is very simple because you recognize the vibration of your parents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, those individuals. It's in your genetics. So when this vibration contacts you, you immediately have a reference and build a construct picture around that vibration. That's my grandfather, and it can be, because it is a recognizable vibration. The alien is an unrecognizable vibration, but because of all the pictures that have been out there, in all the books and everything else, you recognize, oh, I saw that in a book. That's exactly the way they looked. Very simple. The one that has connected up with the Pleiadian's vibration has connected with that which is no different than connecting with a dead zone vibration, because it is within your sub-reality And the pictures come from within your genetics, because at one time you probably looked like that, and you cannot get a picture unless it has been within your vibratory patterning of your genetics. Some are beginning to get, you see, you have dominant genes and recessive genes in your genetic patterning. All right, how many layers down do you have to go to find that? It depends. It depends on what your genealogy patterning has been. You have no idea what was happening to the genes in the genetic patterning 1,000 years ago. What was your genetic patterning, observing, working with 1,000 years ago? You do not know. But the patterning is there. The patterning makes the picture. That's why you can take 25 people, and I use the number, and I don't know numbers. Take 25 people and put them in the middle of a field, and someone will say, "Look at the UFO up there in the sky." How many people will see it? If it is within their genetic patterning to recognize that vibratory wave that is in your sky, as you call it, those will see it. The others will see your sky. Same thing, the aliens come walking through here at a certain time of night. We'll all go and stand in the field. Look, here they come now, and they'll walk right across there. How many recognize the pattern, the vibratory pattern? And how many don't recognize the vibratory pattern? Because someone has said they will walk across there, if your vibratory patterning in your genealogy makes that vibratory patterning, you will see them walk across. But you can't convince the other people that didn't see it that it was there. Now, did I cover the subject? John: Yes, thank you. DATRE: All right, we will see you again. We thank you. We have enjoyed being with you. We are DATRE.